This video is about the Beer Hall Putsch. The Beer Hall Putsch was a failed coup d'etat in November 1923. This coup d'etat was led by Adolf Hitler and Erich Ludendorff. The background lies in the Treaty of Versailles, which ended the First World War but burdened Germany. Germany managed to transform from an authoritarian empire into the democratic Weimar Republic. But the Weimar Republic was politically unstable and was rejected by vast parts of the population. There were right and left-wing extremists who wanted to dissolve the Weimar Republic. One of these right-wing extremist groups was the Nazi Party, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which was established in 1920. Bavaria was a special case within Germany. After being a socialist counter-republic, Bavaria developed into a conservative state, preserving conservatism in Germany. Now to the events that led to the Beer Hall Putsch. In January 1923, French and Belgian troops occupied the Ruhr area. They said insufficient reparations from the Germans. Perhaps the actual reason was that France wanted to expand her sphere of influence. The government in Berlin supported the passive resistance against this occupation. For instance, they were paying the wages of the workers on strike. But at some point, the German Chancellor Stresemann had to say, "We're out of money, you have to end the passive resistance." That was on 26th of September 1923. At the same day, the Bavarian government under von Knilling proclaimed Gustav von Kahr General State Commissioner and emergency rule was announced. The situation grew more tense in October. A Nazi paper published an article against the Social Democratic President Ebert and against General von Seeckt. This Nazi paper was prohibited, but now, how to enforce this prohibition? General von Lossow, the commander of the division in Bavaria, was tasked to do so. He refused. He was dismissed, and then he simply let the division swear its loyalty oaths to Bavaria. It should be mentioned that Hitler tried to stage a rebellion or call for a rebellion before the 30th of October 1923, but that failed. But now to the events of the Beer Hall Putsch. On the 8th of November at 2000 hours, von Kahr wanted to explain his politics in the beer hall in Munich. Present was von Knilling, von Lossow, and the commander of the Bavarian State Police, von Seisler. Half an hour later, the Nazi paramilitaries surrounded the beer hall. Hitler and Ludendorff came in, and they went to another room with von Kahr, von Lossow, and von Seisler. When they came back, they had a proclamation stating, "Proclamation to the German people. Today the government of the November criminals is declared retired. Provisional German national government is established, consisting of General Ludendorff, Adolf Hitler, General von Lossow, Colonel Seisler." The idea behind this coup was that there should be some sort of march on Berlin, like Mussolini had his march on Rome, and then the army and free corps would join and they could overcome the government in Berlin. Anyway, first they were successful. The paramilitaries could take the army district command in Munich, but then at the same time the deputy minister-president Franz Matt called to the people not to support the revolt, to resist. And what was especially important in Bavaria was that he said, "Resist the Prussian Ludendorff." Furthermore, von Kahr disconfirmed his support for the coup d'etat via radio. But the putschists, led by Ludendorff and Hitler, marched from the beer hall to the Odeonsplatz regardless, and there they were stopped by the police. The whole thing was over. Ludendorff was arrested the same day, Hitler a few days later, and there was a trial against the two in Munich. Ludendorff was acquitted because of his merits during the First World War. Hitler used this trial as a propaganda platform. He claimed the leadership in a nationalist Germany and condemned the government. Hitler was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, but had the prospect of early release. And in fact, he did not spend much time in prison. After 264 days, he was released and during his time in prison he wrote his manifesto Mein Kampf. That was the Hitler and Ludendorff Putsch in 5.